Hello everyone, Russell Wright from networkempire.com, and I hope everybody has a cup of coffee or tea or orange juice or whatever. Oh, sorry, it's noon. Or whatever it is that you're doing today. I have just gotten up because Sue and I were up all night with a whole bunch of team members, and we were dealing with the semantic web changes that are happening at an extremely high level on the web and have been adopted and accepted by Google and W3C. And oh my gosh, so we have a lot of very, very cool things that will reward all of you who have stayed the course with website silo architecture and a variety of other aspects of what we've taught over the years, natural language processing. Those of you who are staying the course are going to be pleasantly surprised about what has been accepted, what Sue and Kevin had predicted over the last few years about the semantic web is coming to fruition, and we're going to tell you exactly what that means on Saturday. Now, I know I promised everybody in the Skype group that it was going to be Friday. I didn't really promise, I just said I think. So we're going to have to put it on Saturday. That means some of you guys, Mike, John, the rest, you can go ahead and not have to break your appointments and all your stuff you have on Friday. And I figured Saturday is a good day to be able to address this. It changes some of the perspectives that we have on things that sort of work in the secondary blog ring, such as spun content, spin rewriter, yada yada, all the other things that you guys are all familiar with. And we're going to talk about where that's heading and what you can expect so that you can begin building your arsenal with some insight and some knowledge about the politics of the web and why Google's enlightened self-interest and now Microsoft's enlightened self-interest, and of course their massive clout on W3 and the adaptation of schema.org, what it really means to annihilating every spammer on Earth, like within a 2-year period. And it's seriously heavy.
How you can avoid being caught in
it's not going to happen.
backlash.
If you're listening to us, it's not, but it is the heaviest thing that I have been exposed to since Sue and I launched in 2008 when we launched our company on semantics, because that was Sue's passion. She is known as the semantic dominatrix, and among other things. She has a background in that, and Kevin Polly is now helping us, who pretty much lives, breathes, and eats semantic and semantic web infrastructure, as well as Kelly Reynolds, who of course designed Kraken, who is a master algorithmist and mathematician. And of course Matt, we've debriefed him and all this. So as you can see, this is not small. It's taking up, we're giving it serious midnight oil because the implications for futurists are staggering and they're no longer theoretical. So that is the stuff we will cover on Saturday. And the good news is the practical application of it are some minor additions which will set us apart to the Silo plugin, including some breadcrumbs and a whole bunch of other stuff that we'll talk about on Saturday. Today's webinar, we're going to talk about your websites, and it's even more exciting for me and joyful for me to get into helping you guys with proper web infrastructure and silo structure because of all the time we've spent the last 72 hours preparing for what's coming and knowing what's coming with semantic web. It's like all the stuff we were saying in 2008, with Bruce Clay about silo architecture now is times 1,000. That's the main thing I want you to know. It's like you want to spend time creating your language relationships in a silo structure and in a web infrastructure in order to prepare for what's coming, and creating excellent pages that are related and associated through internal linking in a language-related way. Then you do spamming the internet. You want to put 60% or more of your focus on proper structuring and language architecture, semantic architecture, and less than 10% on testing, unauthorized and unwarranted methods of backlinking and content generation. And this combined with the stuff that we're coming out with Engagement Rank, which I'll be talking about in the upcoming 3 or 4 weeks before the event we're having here live in Nashville. I'm in my family estate here in Nashville, waiting for the event November 15th, which I would like as many of you now in light of new events, I would like any of you who are even near the Tennessee area to come to our event if you possibly can, because we'll be talking about some of this behind closed doors, and Sue will be here. I have bribed her to show up for the event here in Nashville. And we'll
finally told me he got a coffee machine.
I got a decent coffee machine, yeah.
So.
Yeah, got a decent coffee. We've made sure, the family's made sure that we'll pull in direct coffee injection systems for Sue Bell. So that's that. I think I've probably rambled on long enough. Let me go ahead and just see how many people we have. Okay, looks like, Sue, we're starting to fill up full
Indeed.
on here. Probably this call is going to max out. I think we need to get a 1,000-person line, by the way. And that's all great. So first of all, for those of you who have not been on a go-to meeting, I can't imagine, before, hopefully you know you can ask a question. There's a box. If you have any problems finding that box, just give me a 1 if you know how to answer. I'm sorry, if you know how to ask a question in the go-to meeting area. Okay, good. Looks like everybody has a good idea. Okay, good. Looks like Jazz has shown up to rattle my cage for the entire event, of course. That's what she does. Looks like, hello, Ken. Hello, Ellen. Wow, this is a huge gathering. Okay, and there's lots of questions coming in. So let's see. What you're going to do, looks like some of you have already jumped to it and dropped the URL that you want to have Sue look at. We already have a sample, a site that someone wants you to look at. And
yeah, I see that.
Is that Jim? Yeah. Jim,
yeah.
I'm assuming you want us to go ahead and jump in and start autopsying your site? I'm just kidding. I mean, analyzing your no, it looks good, actually. It looks good. So, Sue, I guess if you guys have any questions, go ahead and type them in. I'm going to step out of the way until we get into any of the neuromarketing conversion and persuasion architecture. And with no further ado, I'll just go ahead and let Sue jump in on this first site, which I guess is what, Sue, the 10 secrets to healthy, is that what it is? Oh, that's a squeeze page example. He says, hi, Russell and Sue, here's a URL example plus silo structure. Squeeze page example is 10 secrets to healthy aging. Okay, got it. It's broken on my screen. Articles within the site. Then there's 10 secrets to healthy aging.com/article. Articles. Silo design with the site. Okay, I'm not sure. Jim, can you make sure that you express your precise feedback? Are you looking for us to tell you if it's a proper silo architecture? Because you've given us 3 pages here. Looks like we've seen you. Oh, I've seen your site before in a previous. It's looking better.
So much different. I don't recognize it.
I do. Yeah, I've seen it before. It was a long time ago. Jim, were you on a previous webinar with us last year? Or am I imagining things and going delirious via having seen 20,000 sites in the last couple months? The manual, oh, okay, Jim, you're new. All right, well, he said you can discuss the manual silo link. Okay.
Okay.
Which one was that again? Sorry, I'm still trying to structure your data here. Can you just toss that out? I'm not sure. You gave us 3 links. It was a bit confusing. Where's the manual silo?
Give us 3 links.
Hi, Marco. It's good to see you. I'm really glad you could make the call. Oh, yeah, Zarko. Zarko also wants us to explain the new cost competition graph, Sue.
Yeah, it's all coming up on the screen here.
I think people
are telling me.
We're waiting for the hover overs, so it doesn't make as much sense.
All right, how to stay healthy. Okay. Oops, no caps. How to stay healthy.
Ken says, Sue and Russell, how can I keep my web design team happy while still maintaining your recommendations about menus draining page rank?
So let me talk about that.
Okay.
You're going to need whips.
Yeah, that's how you make
stilettos
it. It has nothing to do with their happiness. Nothing. No, we're just teasing you, man. We know what you're saying.
What was the question? If we want to try to honestly answer it?
Well, he's talking. Yeah, he's talking about. This is a common thing, Sue. The web design team, loves their drop-down menus, I've had a lot of people ping me the last couple of weeks saying, I have a drop-down menu method that might be okay. Like they're comparing SEO-safe drop-down menu methods and trying to hack it. So I think that's what he really means, design versus structure. Design teams are not going to like, pure silo architecture stuff. They're going to want to add drop-down menus that bleed themes. They're going to want to...
Yeah, you pay them. That's how you make them happy.
Yeah. Well, I also know what it means. Like one of the things we've done, Ken, is we train design experts who also understand basic flow. And I also want to add that nowhere are we saying that you have to have this perfect technical structure. We're giving you the ideal technical structure so that when you deviate, you know that you've deviated. In other words, there are times where visitor-enhanced optimization is going to trump technical infrastructure, but if you do it right, you don't have to. And so what happens is that your organization begins to absorb that knowledge, and then the compromise is not really costing you very much. So the main thing is to understand the general, to be less imperfect than your competition, and to not compromise design in the sense of users enjoying the site and being able to find what they need. And if you do it right, they're going to know where everything is. I think the big one is the drop-down Java menus, because there's nothing we can really tell you. There's a couple of inbox conversations I'm having with people who have tried a drop-down method that they're claiming shouldn't bleed PageRank as bad, but I haven't confirmed that with Sue or Kevin or Matt, and we haven't done any flow checking on that. So I can't really confirm it. All right, so that's kind of what we're dealing with at this point, is like the drop-down menus is where we get the most pushback. Okay, I kind of interrupted Jim's thing here.
Okay, so like Kevin made a good point. Kevin's actually looking at another page.
Kevin
which he didn't give me.
Polly?
Yeah.
Oh, where is he?
And he made a comment, so I just want to pick up on that. So this is the home page for that site, and I've seen other sites like this recently, in that there aren't any links to the internal aspect of the site. You can't get inside without putting in your username and password, and unless you've got a site map. Let's just look at that for a second. All right, you do have a site map, so Google will pick that up. So then, all right, so your site will get indexed, but here's the bad thing. You got a PR1 on your home page, and that PR1 isn't going to get passed to the rest of your site because you don't link to it anywhere. I mean, you link to a couple of really generic places, like the article page that doesn't have a PageRank 1, but it might be past some PageRank juice. But I know a lot of people, like if this is your main landing page, me personally, I could easily get turned off to the entire thing if I can't get to the rest of your site.
Looks like he's...
And I would just think that it's a one-page wonder site.
Well, this is also a squeeze page in the sense that we don't know his overall marketing campaign.
Right. So what the one thing that I'm trying to say is, if you want to have a squeeze page and you want to shoot traffic to a squeeze page, that's great. I usually don't make it my home page unless I have a real...
I agree 100%. That's exactly right, yeah.
So, all right. With that in mind.
Does that make sense, Jim? Give me a 1, everyone, if you understand it, and a 2 if you have more questions on why using a squeeze page as the home page has major issues for your overall online empire domination. Because I think it's important. Like Sue and I had a really large client recently. In fact, he's ongoing. Makes really, really good money on the web and has a site with over 1 million pages. And his home page was a squeeze page, like from, Optimized Squeeze or something. And let me see if we got people. Yeah, everybody seems to. Okay, it looks like most people agree. Hi, CD, yes, this is recorded. So, okay, looks like we don't really have to answer that. Right, and Jim is saying this was targeted to get opt-ins, and the back end was to rank and get traffic via the pages. And I get that, Jim. I'm also saying we have dealt with really, really large sites and really, really big pocketbooks that have tried this method, and what ends up happening is the flow of PageRank and domain authority is interrupted, and users don't really know the full scope and scale of the site. So it really depends on what's happening. I mean, it's a decision that you've made. But you also have to know that giving people access, we found that the benefits of giving people access to an overview of the content positions you more as an authority, both behaviorally for people visiting the site, as well as the indexing and the kind of the traffic that you get. And so we've also discovered that the better way for squeezes is to either get a different domain and or a separate folder which you're using to target specific campaigns. Now, this has its advantage in a variety of ways because you should be tracking your opt-ins and your conversions from specific pages. So you can kind of isolate those campaigns. That's one perspective. I'm not suggesting you change it. I'm just suggesting that you maybe consider adding more information than a forced squeeze if you're going to build an authority domain for an index page.
Got an interesting question from Fran who asked if we use a pop-up opt-in for first-time visitors.
Mm-hmm. Well, don't get me started. I have tested them across our network, and I removed them. And I know that's a bold statement, but the testing showed it really depends on how you do that, Fran. I'm assuming that you're referring to an exit pop-up, or are you referring to what specific type of pop-up are you referring to? I think pop-ups are pretty much the sociopath of the digital environment right now. It's like you don't really, as the environment moves to this incredibly intense, socially verified, very human environment, pop-ups work in certain markets really, really well. Okay, and they'll probably work indefinitely in the internet marketing industry where everybody's just grown accustomed to it, so everybody just assumes that it's not totally rude. I mean, if it adds value, there are ways to do it, like delayed pop-ups and the rest, where I've had better results. And I've had really good results with pop-ups with a video. Okay, let me give you an exception, okay? A pop-up with a video of the founder speaking or a human being who is being real with you on a delay of about 45 seconds has done really, really well overall. But an immediate pop-up, doesn't work that well. An exit pop-up in the internet marketing industry for forced squeezes, they do work if you're in a poverty or what you call an instant gratification market, okay? Be sure that you look at what it is that you're selling before you make the decision to do really rude kind of instant gratification or even exit pop-ups. If you're talking about an authority site and topics that are really kind of about anti-aging and where there's a social environment and your authority content, then an exit pop-up and a rude insert is probably not the best way to go. You probably want to do it, if you're going to do a pop-up, do a delay. And then, Jim, find somebody who's going to speak about the site and the reason the site was built and why you're going to add value to people's lives, and have that video right in the pop-up. And there's only a couple services and ways that you can do that out there right now that I have found that are effective. So hopefully that answers that question.
One of the things that we talk about a lot at certification is the different kinds of sites that you can have that are branded in your WR1 ring and what the purpose of each one of those sites are. And some of those sites their main purpose is to build trust. Mm-hmm. And so if you have a site where the main purpose is to build trust, you don't want to do things like pop-ups, because you don't want to do things like pop-ups, and you tend to not want to do things where you've got the squeeze page on the front page, because those things don't tend to build trust. You want to be open with your information. You want to invite them in. You want to, so it's like inviting somebody in and then asking them a rude personal question like right away.
Yeah, exactly. Like try to find a domain with a domain authority over 75 that has a pop-up, you're not going to be able to do it. So, and if you do, if you do find that, a domain with domain authority over 70, and they are doing a pop-up, watch really closely the way that they do it. It's almost always in service. I mean, Blogger might be, Pro Blogger might be an exception, these types of things. So again, look at the genre. But also, when you look at these high authority sites, look at the way they're using them. my big concern is don't use internet marketing and the traditional internet marketing environment, because I know all of us on this call has been exposed to that system of thinking, which is a squeeze page oriented system, right? Optimized press, internet marketing, same thing. So just note how the big authority systems, the big authority sites use opt-ins and neuromarketing and squeezing to build trust rather than to get rid of it. And that'll explain the difference between where the web is going and where the old internet marketing, this old dinosaur, is kind of going.
So this isn't a silent site, at least not with the articles on the side. The articles on the top. In fact, this isn't how to stay healthy. Get down to how to stay healthy. All right, so let's talk about what you're doing here. You got a link to articles at the top, which in this case is linking back to itself. You got a link for, you have a link to another domain, 10 secrets to healthy aging. Now that's this domain. You get a link to the home page, and you got a link to how to stay healthy. All right, so we're looking at the three things that are links to the top. The links down here are broken. They're going to some really bad errors. And then you've got categories down here, but clearly this isn't built using our blog plugin, right? This is used maybe with the free do-it-yourself.
Yeah. Jim, did you use the do-it-yourself course, or did you use another type of plugin, or manually siloed the old-fashioned way? Okay.
All right. Cool.
Oh, I also forgot to mention. I'm sorry, that was huge.
Go ahead.
Folks, please. All of that being said, I don't want somebody coming back later on that rant I just gave about squeezes, because there's two people here that I know are expert squeeze marketers. I want to emphasize that the stuff still works when you're driving email. And that's another thing for you to consider as well, Jim. It's like we definitely know that, we've definitely tested the squeeze page and the forced squeeze with no other links and the rest. It's primarily an email model. So if you have big lists and you're doing emails, it's another thing that supports what Sue was saying. But you don't need to have your domain, your authority being jacked on your index in order to mail 1 million people to a squeeze page, right, with the special webinar offer. I mean, we do it all the time. You guys have seen our squeezes. But those are on backwater pages. Those are not.
Right.
I mean, if you look at our live event, right, that we're having here in November, it's, networkempirenews.com/live. It's a temporary folder because the event's temporary, but even if it was a permanent offer, it's going to get emailed a lot. So that's one other thing, is to think of squeezes. And when you think squeeze pages, think email.
Okay. So your silos, are these your silos up here? Or are these supposed to be your silos down here? Are they at the top of the page or the bottom of the page, Jim? Because neither one have really got articles underneath it, so it's hard for me to tell. So I just want to make sure that, like, if this is a silo, that when you land there, then you've got more concepts, more pages.
So he says that the images are the silos.
Okay, good. That's good, because I would rather they be at the top of the page. The stuff at the bottom of the page isn't going to rank as well, and people aren't going to click on it as well, right? So stuff at the top of the page, that's good. And then when you click through to healthy eating articles, obviously you want more articles that link from this page about other concepts for healthy eating, right? If healthy eating is the keyword that you want to rank for.
Also, Jim, just on the neuromarketing side, great job on your personal branding and your personal accountability on this page. Bring that to the front page more, to your index page. And you will do 10 times. Oh, you did a good job there.
It does have a video here.
You did good. Okay, but it might be nice to bring your accountability. Point is, you did really, really well on social accountability for what it is that you're offering as an authority.
Overall, I like the site. It's got a lot of videos. It's got, oops, wrong one. It's got a lot of, the engagement factor's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've done very well for setting yourself up a socially activated, semantically integrated broadcasting network for yourself there, Jim. I mean, it's a great platform
Socially activated.
we like to go, I mean, that's your next step. You have things that you need to add. And my point is that you have a solid core, if you look at our model, our WR1, that can be expanded. And your next step will be to socially integrate because you have your personal accountability, you have a subject matter expert. Now you can start setting up your downstream social traffic systems and your broadcasting network, so to speak, so that when you publish new articles and your frequency of publish, we call FOP, starts happening, then you can start distributing your content everywhere and gain massive momentum, traffic, and ultimate domain authority. And following our stuff over the next couple of years, semantic integration, you'll be a massive authority site to continue the direction that you're going. There's a few structural things that I think could be changed, but you're getting it. It seems to me. Would you agree, Sue? He's generally getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be refined, but you're generally on the right track.
Yep.
So how come nobody else is dropping any links? You guys have...
I've got another link. It's here.
Oh, okay.
It came in right at the beginning.
Oh, excellent. Coding certification. I like it. There's a decent... Oh. Okay. And whose site is this? Who dropped... What's the first name?
Oh. There were too many things going on all at once.
Is that Jazz? No.
I don't think so.
Okay. You're welcome, Jim. You're welcome. I really like the macro trend that you're in. At certification, Sue and I talk about what used to be the 7 macro trends has now become 12. I've added a couple more. A macro trend is anything that's $1 trillion or industry or greater.
This is Boyd.
You are definitely in that, Jim, and I think it's a great service. So nice genre. Okay, Boyd.
Okay.
Step up.
So he wants to know more about how to make this more siloed.
Okay.
All right. Free webinar. Well, you've got some silos going on here, or at least the potential for silos. So, yeah, you got a lot of content. This is good. So what you want to do, like let's say continuing education. What you want to do is here on this page.
I don't think his drop-down menus are long enough, though.
So your menu went completely away. So if I'm going to assume that this is your silo landing page, all right, this is the way that I would do it. Your continuing education, that's your main concept, so this becomes your silo landing page, and all of this, classes, all right, so all of those things should be accessible from here, and maybe they are. I was looking at, yeah, okay, so they are actually. All of those things are here, and if I click through to one of those classes, it's just that one class. So then from here, at the very least, you're going to want to click back up to the silo landing page, right, to this page. Your other possibility, like if you do that, then you'll give this page a whole lot more juice. If you link also from these pages to the other pages, to the other classes, then you'll spread that juice out a little bit more, but you'll rank more of your pages. So it's up to you how you want to do it. If you want to keep this really focused on just this one course, then at the bottom, you're going to want to link back up to your whole list of classes. And the other thing that you could do, wow, see this has got a page rank too, and the page above it has nothing. So if you link from this page back up to the silo landing page, you're much more likely to get get your medical coding certified training, continuing education keyword term ranked. Now, interestingly enough, you're going to want to, like if that whole thing is your keyword, then in a perfect world, down here at the bottom, you're going to use that entire keyword contextually as an anchor text link to link back up. Okay, if you don't, if this is actually like 2 or 3 keywords all slammed into one another, and so like medical coding training would be maybe one keyword. I'm just hypothesizing here. Okay, if medical coding training were one word and certification, continuing education were another keyword, then you could alternate as you link back up to this page those 2 words or variations. Let's say you have medical coding certification one time, medical coding training another time, medical coding continuing education a third time. So you could diversify the keywords that you link back up with, and that would help you rank for more keywords on this page.
He is saying, which I find interesting, Sue, that this is a HubSpot CTA landing page, and I'm trying to remember HubSpot. I'm not sure if that's something he uploads or if it's...
No, HubSpot is...
if he's using it. I remember HubSpot, but I'm just wondering what he's... Are you using, Boyd, is that a HubSpot? Did you get the URL function active in HubSpot so you got your own private domain or subdomain, or how are you integrating that with your domain? I don't really understand. Oh, okay. You can check my video blog posts for coding certification. Huh. I'm wondering why you used HubSpot.
It's a subdomain within HubSpot.
I'm wondering what motivated you to do that. It's not a criticism. I'm just kind of curious. You like the CTA pages were high converting, or was it their tools? Because I've never seen that before. That's kind of interesting. Okay, you like the client liked the tools. All right, yeah. Okay.
So let's just look at products for a second. Oh, interesting.
Oh, they like the CTAs, the tracking, yeah, the built-in tracking system for HubSpot. I wonder if any of HubSpot's authority has passed when you're using it on your own site like that. Probably not. Some people would say that the colors are pretty, Boyd. Other people would not say that. I personally think it works for the way that was designed. We have different opinions of people coming saying that they like it and they don't like it. It's really interesting how design, Sue and I stay way away from colors, and, we give you guys the general, like, okay, this color generally is better used psychologically for this, but there's so many, yeah, Boyd's saying 95% are women in this market, okay.
Oh, then that works.
What's that?
Then that works. Purple and pink. That's
yeah, but he's saying in this industry.
Yeah.
So how many of the women on this call, it seems like there is an abnormally large amount that we normally have, like these colors? If you're a woman and you like these colors, press 1.
Abnormally large women.
Okay. Fran, stop it. Gosh, I can't get a word in. Wow, Eleni can't stand it, but there's about 5 people that really do like it. 5 women that really do like it. Okay, men, if you're a man and you're on this call, if you like it, type this color for configuration, put in 1, and if you don't, put in 2. I don't think Boyd cares about you, but I do. I'm curious. Oh. Okay, Boyd, definitely do not market these colors to the men's market.
I could have told you that.
Okay. Good, good. Well, thank you guys. It's kind of fun because, we're all friends here and nobody knows as much as all of us. So, we have a friend of ours uh, for many years. His name is Jerry West. He's a pretty prolific SEO. At least he has been in the past, and he's still pretty full on these days. I don't know if you know Jerry West, but in the early years in our startup phases, we did some work with him and conferences and, pre-StomperNet kind of stuff. And one of the things that I thought was really interesting is when it came to color, just pure design, color implementation, no SEO, none of those things. He would take sites like this and print them out on his color printer, like before they launched. And he'd take like 4 or 5 different versions, and then he'd go down to the local pub, and he'd lay them out down on the table at the local bar. And because there was either gathering with a bunch of his friends or a party or whatever, and he would buy people rounds. Like if it was a women's market, he'd, have a few of his lady friends, like 5 or 6 or 10 of them, and he would take a super small, he'd buy them a beer and take a super small sample of who hated it and who loved it and what they did or didn't like about it. And even when he took a small sample of 6 to 15 people, and the choice that he made still really helped the general market, online. Like, he made better choices about his design coloration. So that's kind of an interesting thing. You could adapt that to your color choices. I'm talking pure color choices here. I thought that was really, really cool. Really great idea.
So blog posts, what he's doing is does a what? A free webinar every month.
What are you looking at, Sue?
I'm looking at this at Boyd's last statement. So blog posts, that's how it starts. What I'm doing, we do it's showing up really funky on my screen.
Well, he says a free webinar every month. He records it. Questions are submitted before. He takes a recording and makes posts and YouTube videos. Okay, so he's generating it. That's the ADNA method. We talk about a network empire. That's great, Boyd. So you're using you're creating multimedia. This is what we mean by multimedia generation. You're taking that media and you're turning it into multimedia, and articles and content, and it's all going to your network, starting with your blog post, right? And then you're syndicating. Hopefully, you're getting some massive reach from your blog post, right? And then the traffic's going back to the main site, right? I mean, that's the right idea. That's great,
Yep.
Yeah, that's the right idea. That's what we mean by downstream traffic system, because the traffic goes back upstream to your main site. It's syndicated. You're using the content you already have through what's we call that content repurposing. I feel one of the big blind spots in the industry today is people aren't repurposing their content anywhere near enough. They're all caught up in the precise, spin, remix, and how long should the article be. And if people saw how much money you save by repurposing content through syndication, they would be blown away, which is why we've written that into DWS Any Builder, because we're already aware of how much money you save repurposing what you already have. People focus more on that and less worrying about and obsessing about the perfect content length, perfect remix, or even, God forbid, article spinning rate. Make a ton more money and build a much larger network with a much greater authority reach. Make sense, guys, gals? And Sue, Boyd is also saying each post has an embedded video, transcription, unique image, internal and external link to the authority site. Okay. That's awesome.
Okay. So I want to show you something you're doing with your menu here. You're on your home page. On your home page, you've got a page rank 3. And the first links you've got coming off of your site are probably the least important links on your site because they're not going to convert, right? The about us, the press releases, the social links. Page rank 3 here, if I go to your second link on the site, the about us page, you've got a page rank 2 there because of proximity. And pretty much when I get back down to your important pages, the pages that actually convert something, we've got a page rank nada, right? There's 2 reasons for that. One is, the big one is that you've got 5,432 links off of this page, right? So your first couple of links, they get a reasonable amount of link juice, and everything else splits what's left, which is not enough to get anything else to any page rank. Doesn't mean that they don't have any page rank, but they don't have a lot of page rank. So probably you've got some long tails in here that might rank for something, but if you've got anything that's at least a little bit competitive, it's not going to rank very well. Now, there's two schools of thought. One is you lose the drop-downs, and by losing the drop-downs, you're going to pass more page rank to those side of the landing pages. But I'm looking at your side of the landing page keyword terms. At least in the menu, you've got continuing education. You get the nice long, actual long tail on the URL, which is good. Pass the exam, which is also really generic, although the URL is medical coding and training certification pass the exam. So you do actually include the type of certification or the type of exam that you're passing there. And then the learn medical coding, that's actually got the medical coding keyword in it. So that's actually a better link in terms of if I were only going to have 5 or 7 links up here so that I pass as much page juice to those landing pages, you want to make sure that the links to those landing pages pass as much thematic juice as it possibly can. So if you want to keep it short and sweet here, then, which I can completely appreciate so that your menu doesn't wrap, and when you come back here and you link back up, when you come all the way down to the bottom of the silo and you link back up with a nice long keyword. So you get you'll get the thematic linking there, and you'll get the page rank coming down, and that'll help you get ranked on both sides. It'll take both sides to make that happen, but it'll happen.
Excellent. I was wondering, Kevin noticed that his posts are on subdomains. I was wondering, Boyd, what your thinking was in doing that. How did that come about? Was that conscious, or it just kind of fell together? I know how that happens. It just fall together that way, that you got subdomains on the blog? Yeah.
/blog.
Something Kevin brought up, posts are on subdomains. It's on a subdomain. Kevin, can you expand on what you're talking about here? You said all the
It
posts.
doesn't look like it's on the, yeah, it looks like the posts are on /blog. That's
Oh, it is on Slack. I think Kevin was just pointing out that's on. Okay, I misunderstood the comment. Okay, so that's just a blog folder then. Is that an independent blog install on this domain, or is the whole domain a blog install? Kevin was saying under pass the exam.
Pass the exam.
You saw something weird there.
Oh.
He says the pages in the drop down. Yeah, he says the pages in the drop down go to the subdomain.
Oh yeah, all of them.
Yeah. Nice catch.
Oh, why?
Yeah, why do you do that, Boyd? Why you has drop down? Your drop, Boyd, he's asking us to repeat the question, so you guys listening.
So, okay, so, like, this, let me just look at the ones here. So this and everything under home is on www.codingcertification.org. But under continuing education, Practicode, for example, is on go.codingcertification. It's not on www anymore. So this is a separate subdomain. So a subdomain is treated like a folder as far as Google's concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So so you actually have the opportunity, if you wanted to get more keyword oomph here, you could actually have each one of these menus on a different subdomain. I don't know why they're on different subdomains in the first place, but if you're going to put them on different subdomains, stick it on continuingeducation.codingcertification.org or
yeah, I see what's happened now. Sue, his client got him stuck on Hubspot. So this is all a HubSpot parameter
Control DNS install.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's just like, can't help you.
Yeah.
Sorry. But the next blog you
yeah.
do, the next site you do, don't do that. It's okay. I mean, I understand how sometimes we get backed into a corner based on client. As you get more experience, Boyd,
fire the clients.
yeah, you fire a client. Well, you'll match the client's expectation up front to what it is you can and can't do on infrastructure.
Yeah.
And either get rid of them or get it written in blood on a contract that they are aware that there's certain things you won't be able to do that you're based on their desire because they love HubSpot's tracking tools, that let them know that they're compromising what's lost or gained, because most clients won't know what's lost or gained by choices they've already made. It's called Jaron Lanier calls this lock-in. Okay, so they're locked into stuff, but you take on the accountability of that locked in when you take on the client, being locked in when you take that client on. So in the future, you'll set up your systems and your services and your offerings to make sure that you have a lot more flexibility than a client would give you. So hopefully that makes sense. Yes, you are losing page. Boyd's asking. So what you're saying is we are losing page rank by using hosting via HubSpot for the sales pages.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's
no question. But I mean, Sue, they're not getting. There's no domain authority getting. I don't know how the DNS is set up, but they're not getting any of HubSpot's.
No, they're not getting HubSpot's, and interestingly enough, because it's actually on a separate IP, I'm thinking that they're not getting any of the authority from the homepage passed either, which I'm not really sure why not. Hang on just a second.
I mean, Boyd, all of this is presuming that you're trying. All of this is presuming that certification, or what's the site domain? Codingcertification.org is what you're trying to rank. Like, we haven't seen any of your ranking. I don't know if you're doing mass ranking analysis or anything. I mean, to me, it seems like, I don't know what your keyword traffic is or if you're having any success. It would be interesting to cross-analyze those subdomains, the subdomain issue with your actual rankings. Are you getting lots of traffic for this site? Meaning, I mean, are you getting general? But are you, what's your ranking for those three things that? Yeah, but 18,000 what per month? Okay.
Visitors.
18K visitors. Okay. Well, again, I don't really have your weblog files, but it's all organic. Okay. So I'd be curious on your actually ranking for the keywords on the HubSpot pages before I just write it off, because I know you're stuck, you're locked in. I wouldn't mind seeing the actual ranking for those midtails, because I've never seen that kind of setup, and HubSpot does have a lot of authority, but you're not going to be getting any of that, I don't think. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I would probably actually still keep this page over on your actual domain.
Okay, you would.
I would.
Okay.
And then these where you actually link down into the individual pages where you actually do the purchasing, then you could put that on HubSpot. Maybe see if you can like work some kind of an interim thing like that, so that it's still not going to silo very nicely. Like, just so you know, it's just not going to silo very nicely.
We know, like.
But I think you might manage to keep a little bit more of the link juice, because then you're passing that link juice off. Your silo landing page, I think, might keep, if you don't have the drop downs, so that your continuing education just goes to the continuing education page. And then from here you link off to your subordinate pages. That means that this page will have more page rank juice to be able to pass, and then these pages can pass it back up, so that when you link down here, the first thing I would do is on this page have a link back at the bottom. I would just go in there and link back, so that if somebody ends up on one of those pages, they can find their way back to the rest of your site. And
hey, Sue, we get a lot of questions on that note. I know it's kind of a sidestep, but it's like the fourth time. people are asking about putting their sitemaps at the bottom of every page on their site. I don't know where that question's coming from all of a sudden. That's a no-no, or what is your, why did they ask that? That's my first question.
So you're going to flatten your page rank if you do something like that, because I need a diagram to really explain this well. But just think about it for a second. Like let's just say that all of these icons represent all of the pages on your site. And so you have a page on your site that links to all your other pages, and all of those other pages link back to this page. And what that does is it flattens it. It makes everything the same. There's no hierarchy left. The whole point of a silo structure is that you've got your home page. Your home page links to your silo pages, and then one of your silo pages links to the pages that are subordinate underneath that. And these other silo pages don't link to those article pages. The article pages in the silo all link back up to your silo landing page. And so what that does is it clusters the page rank on your silo landing pages, which are supposed to be the most difficult to rank for terms on your site. They're supposed to be the most competitive terms, and they're also supposed to be the most important terms in terms of the pains that you're answering, the solutions that you're offering, the keywords that you really want to rank for. So what happens then is that these keywords are all easy to rank for. They get the least amount of page rank juice, and they're easy to rank for, and so they rank easily. Your more difficult pages up here, they get more page rank juice, they rank more easily. And we don't actually focus too much on your home page. If you have a keyword, an Uber keyword, an Uber meme that you want to rank for on your website, make it a silo landing page.
So it's got a lot of people's attention too. Let me just read some of them. Wait a second.
Okay.
So say again about the sitemap. So remove sitemaps links from the footer. Here's another one.
Okay. So let me get back to the sitemap. Now that I've kind of explained what a silo structure is, right?
Everybody's freaking out.
Right. So by having a sitemap, what you're doing is you're taking the link juice from every single page on your site, and you're putting it out onto this page that has links to all of your pages. And on that page, you've got a link to every single page. So you're whitewashing your entire site with your page rank. And it's not a good idea. From a ranking perspective, it's not a good idea. Also, I have to ask, why do you want to do it? Like,
you don't. There's no reason. Like, guys, your sitemap is submitted to your webmaster tools, and it works instantly. The universe doesn't need to see that.
No, that's a different sitemap.
Okay,
typically speaking, that's the XML sitemap, and that's used by bots, and people don't read that.
Yeah. So why do you even really need a sitemap? I haven't used one in years.
So if you think through what it is that you're actually trying to do with your menu structure, with your silo menu structure. Like, this is why we have you start with the pains and what it is that you're actually trying to communicate. And when you structure those Uber ideas in your website properly, these primary concepts in your silo, when you structure that properly, when people hit your site, no matter what page they hit your site on, they look at that silo menu and they know what your site is
exactly.
about. You don't need a sitemap.
Exactly. Let me try it like this, guys. Your website silo architecture is a sitemap. Let's look at why sitemaps got popular. This is like 2005, right?
Yeah.
The reason it got started, this is back, when Leslie Rohde and Jerry West and, when, Link Rank and Link Spider, all those softwares were out there. The concept was, okay, if you provide a place for the bots to like index your site, then they'll know where to go and everything is exposed and is open, right? Which is the purpose of website silo architecture already. Okay, so the point is that you don't have to do that when you have your proper site structure. Let's look
at the other reason why it got popular, right? It's because people they created a site without thinking the whole thing all the way through. And so they created a few pages,
Gotcha.
And then they randomly add a few more pages, and then they randomly add a few more pages, and they can't find the pages on their own site without a sitemap, right? Much less
I've never done that.
the poor visitor. No, I haven't done that either. I have a 2,000-page HTML site that I had never done that with.
Oh, the miracle thing, yeah.
It's a mess. Okay, so I can completely understand
that was a monster. That's how I met you. Sue had built this like million-page site.
So I can completely appreciate why people needed a sitemap back in the day, right? But now you have website silo architecture. We step you through everything. You can organize your thoughts before you go and publish your website.
Don't get out your whips. We're okay. We get it. Next question, quick, someone before she comes after us.
Yes,
well, yeah,
Google
okay, but
Webmaster Tools wants an XML sitemap,
yeah,
which
Stephen,
is different from.
it is different, but it's not different in a lot of people's minds. So let's be really clear. There's a
Yeah.
sitemap that's HTML, okay, and then there's the sitemap. I actually think that if people knew more about how regular sitemaps worked, that they wouldn't be, I think it would help remove this concept that you even need to have an HTML version of it, because the XML sitemap is getting in, like, I have, sites upwards of 200,000 pages, and I'm getting indexed via Google, between 90 and 95%. So you can go direct. XML allows you to go direct into Bing, into Google, into Yahoo, behind the scenes, without exposing an HTML spidering aspect to it. So just know the difference. Sue is right that obviously XML is for the machine world, and the sitemaps in question that flatten your page rank and homogenize your page rank, Phil, good way, that's a great way to say it, is HTML. So we're talking about two different things there, just so you guys know. But knowing about one does emphasize the lack of needing the other.
All right.
Okay, looks like.
Yes, I would remove the anchor link in the footer to your XML sitemap.
And that's
yes.
Sue, that's where I was coming from as well, is even though you're talking about HTML, I don't know what it is. Over the last 3 days, since we launched the second version of the plugin, a lot of people have the XML sitemap linked in their footer, and they're not talking about the HTML version that you're talking about.
Oh my!
And I'm like, where the hell? Who the? Why the?
Oh, that's just a misnomer.
But it's not just. Well, that's where somebody, guys like or Phil, when somebody confuses something, when you have a technical term that is the same word but a different meaning.
Right.
People probably somewhere down the line somebody said, "Oh, I should put my sitemap in my footer," and then they put their XML sitemap in their footer, and I was like, "Oh, whoops." There's nothing to parse there for the bots. It's not. Do the bots even hit XML on the HTML?
So here's the thing: in your robots, I mean, the convention is they're going to go look for a sitemap.xml file.
Right.
But you can, in your robots file, you can tell them where your sitemap is.
Right. So why do it on your page and bleed?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, got it. That's huge.
They're not going to look for it on your page anyway.
Yeah, they're not looking for it. Okay, that's huge, guys. You understand that? Literally, if you're putting an XML sitemap, for whatever reason, confusion or otherwise, on your footer, there's not a bot out there that's going to follow. All right, so tell them in your htaccess, and more importantly, tell them in your /XML, and then submit that to Bing and Google. And guys, please submit your sitemap to Bing, okay? Because I'm getting, I don't know, like 5% to 10% extra traffic in some of my networks, just by that one simple move. It takes like 45 seconds. Now, it's not true in every network, or in every market, but it's just that extra traffic boost. It's great. Like, why wouldn't you want to help the search engines know what pages you have there? No, Jazz, everybody does not submit to Bing. I've got guys that, yeah. Okay.
All right. So, I have to remember. Oh, I knew I should have had coffee. ORV, that's what I want.
This is your software. It's called TLKT, remember?
My what?
Oh, I was just reminding you that this is one of your softwares. It's called the Last Keyword Tool.
All right, so what I did was I went in here to shortcuts and I added ORV, right? You can just click on it and it's going to add this column ORV. And once it's added, you can click on it and that sorts it from most expensive. What ORV is, it stands for Organic Rank Value. And if you want to know exactly what it is, you can come in the custom column and you can see the calculation. It's the cost per click, time the searches per day, times the average number across markets that we kind of came to consensus would be how much traffic you would get if you were ranked at the top of the Google SERPs. Actually, SERPs, period. But anyway, all right. So it gives you an idea of the value of a keyword is the basic idea, okay? And so what this curve is, what the colored curve is, because you'll notice like sometimes it has red up on top and green up on the bottom, but it's basically a solid line that goes from here to there. So this is the most expensive ORV keyword to the least expensive ORV keyword, which is somewhere around in here, and then everything else is zeros. So if I come down here to the bottom, you can see there's a bunch of zeros. All right, so it looks like it's about half zeros. So if you come up here, you can see it's about half zeros. There's no color past that point. All right, so then what is it doing is it's looking, you've got this black line here, which represents the competition. And it goes up and down depending on the competition. And this is just looking at this theme itself, right? So it's just saying, okay, the competition starts really pretty low. This is looking at phrase match competition. It actually starts off really high, but the next number is really low. So when you're right here, this is looking at the 9,300 and 934,000. And then it goes back up pretty high again, and then it starts to slope back down low again. So it's got this kind of wiggly thing here. And you'll notice that the competing pages is doing the same kind of wiggly thing. So that's what this is doing. And then what it's saying is that there are keywords here that, comparatively speaking, like if you're looking at this idea of low-hanging fruit, the number of searches to the number of competitions makes it look like a really good deal. So if you look at this, you can see, like, okay, if like for an example, this keyword, I've got 50,000 searches, and I've got some just phenomenally unbelievable number of competing pages there, like 1.5 billion, which makes it look pretty horrible, right? But the next one is half that number of searches and a fraction that number of competing pages, which makes it look like a pretty decent term, comparatively speaking, right? So this keyword, stock market quotes, is going to be some of this green here, and then the next keyword gets, it's not so bad because it's got a whole bunch more searches to competing pages. And so that's the idea behind the graph. It's showing you, there's a few green keywords, and then you hit a red keyword, and then you've got some more green keywords, and you hit another red keyword. So it's just giving you an idea of low-hanging fruit. Personally, I mean, if you really want to see what low-hanging fruit is at the moment, you can come in here to something like golden niches and apply that filter, and it's going to give you keywords that are golden niches, which it doesn't consider there to be any, probably because the number of competing pages is a little small. Yeah, so if I put the number of competing pages up a little bit, then I'm going to find something that's a low-hanging fruit, and that's just because this is a pretty competitive market that I drilled into. So that's the idea behind it. This is showing you overall, like there's, when you look at the search to competition ratios, there's a lot of keywords here that seem that they're a good deal, and if you go and you look at another, if I come back here and look at another project, maybe affiliate marketing, I'm just taking stabs. I didn't look at these beforehand. You can see there's quite a number of good keywords, and then there's like this mountain of don't touch keywords, which is halfway down the page, which I find rather interesting. Let me take the filter off, and let's just take a look at those for a second. So what it's saying is, like down here, what is it? Almost in the middle, right before we go into the zero area, there's a number of keywords that you just shouldn't touch. Oh, check that. That's because the number of searches are just really, really small. So if you've got any kind of competing pages at all, the number of searches are just so small as to make it, like, ridiculous. So that's what the graph is about. Oh, looks infected. You guys are just bad. All right. So, dang,
okay, now let me just make sense. Let me just make sense. Yeah, good luck with that. How many of you have no idea what this is that you're looking at, and you've never heard of the last keyword tool, and you didn't even know we made it? Put a 1 if that's true, and a 2 if that's false. Okay. Oh, wow, there's some people don't even know what the heck this is, Sue. Okay, so now I have to start over. This is the last keyword tool. Sue decided to jump into it because somebody tossed out a question about what is this graph.
Yeah,
And
it's been a
even though
hot
this is
topic.
and it is related to bring your own website. For example, um, let's say let's say you're in the market that Boyd just was in, which was coding certification. You could actually type in coding certification into the thing. It would create a project, and using natural language processing and advanced web semantics that cost us like an arm and a leg. In fact, I only have one arm right now because this costs so much to build. Um, and we do it in multiple
But we're
languages.
busy growing you
Yeah,
another one.
a new arm is growing back, several of them. Um, point is that this thing goes out and finds the most important conversations around the long tails and mid tails. And then, can you please go into your project? I just want to show them real quick, like really fast.
Sure.
Go into your project. And there's so many ways you can use this. You can see our help file and our video tutorials. You can make local. It's really good for local website building. You can go ahead and go up to the shortcuts in case you don't want to look at the rocket scientist nerdy codes that Sue and Kelly built. You can click the shortcuts and you can click suggested silos. Click that. Boom. Inside this market and all the natural language processing LSI, Bayes, and co-occurrence terms, that is the conversation, the most important words in the entire conversation. The suggested silos are right here. And if you wanted to, you could take these over to Kraken, you could take these over to the Domain Web Studio Silo Builder, import them into the blog plugin, and have the ultimate natural language processing website in 20 minutes or less. It's completely insane. All right? I just wanted to give you a quick overview. All right, if that makes sense to all of you, like the power of that and how it's not available anywhere else, and it's definitely not Market Samurai, please give me a 1. Okay, does everybody understand that? Just give me a 1 if you get a general sense. Okay, huge number of 1s. Okay, cool. Sold.
Do you guys want to see the new filters and columns?
Just hang on a second, Sue. Let me just make sure everybody's with us.
Oh, all right.
It's very advanced what you're doing. Okay, never mind. They're kicking me aside and saying, "Shut up and let Sue talk." All right. I've had a lot of the ladies in the room actually just telling me to sit down and let you talk. You're really scaring me. You're getting a very large female following that is rallying against me. I love it. I'm afraid to go to Nashville Live because she's going to take over the whole show.
You should be. Be afraid.
Mike and I are scared. We're very scared.
All right, so there's 2 radical concepts to the last keyword tool, which is the reason why we made it the last keyword tool. And it's literally that you can create your own filters, and you can create your own columns, and by doing this, you can create your own tool, right? So you can, in here, we've got show options, and for those brave hearts among us, hey, where did it go? Hang on. It's hiding behind my toolbars. Hang on just a second. Here we go. For those who are brave amongst us, you can come in here and you can construct your own filter. So you can grab any number of these things. You can make them as complex as you want to, and you can say something like cost per click greater than 1, and apply that filter, and it's going to bring you back all of the keywords that have a cost per click greater than 1, which, as I said, to those who are brave or have a little bit of programming or just, gutsy enough to go out and give something a go, this is wonderful.
Well, I promise that every one of you at some point or another will invent your own filter. You will discover, you will discover a new way of looking at the data on the web. And, this is the only tool that really allows you to do it. I have begged Sue and Kelly to get rid of all that, but they won't, because we have a huge following of people that, just like that. And they're generally middle to, intermediate to advanced agencies and the rest, where they have their own way of looking at the data. So we left it on there. But in the event that it's too much brain damage for you, just go to the shortcuts area.
So I'm getting there. Okay, so we created a whole bunch of defaults, and those are in everybody's accounts. But still, that can be a lot of stuff to look through. So in an effort to make this a quicker tool to use, because I can appreciate, nobody has any time. Ain't nobody got time for that, right?
Ain't nobody got time.
So we've taken 3 of our most popular filters and 2 of our most popular columns and put them in here. So I'm going to start with golden niches. For you guys who are looking for the deal in the market, you click golden niches and it's going to tell you whether or not it's a very defaultish kind of golden niche. It's not going to apply for every single market, but it will definitely bring you low-hanging fruit. Okay, so that's one of them, and then our next one.
All of this is like having direct access to Sue's brain, because Sue and Kelly, we've tested hundreds of filters, and she tweaks them monthly. So if they really work well and they make people money, they get tossed into the shortcuts.
Exactly. Highly relevant. These are the keywords. Like if let's say that I'm in Domain Web Studio and I need more keywords, and I come over here, I do a drill for the article that I'm in that I need some supporting keywords for it. I hit the highly relevant, and it's going to bring me back just those keywords that are in particularly relevant. I come down here, I hit the export button, it's going to export just what I show here on the screen. I go back into Domain Web Studio, I import them, and I've got a good set of keywords for just that article that I'm working on, or a silo. What's the next one? The next one, I think, is suggested silos. We just looked at that. So if you're building your website, you want to have an idea what your suggested silos ought to be, you click that, and it's going to give you in most places it just gives you a list of about 10. So
where is the make money in 14 seconds from now filter?
Oh, that's the golden niche.
That would be the closest one.
All right. And then we've got a couple of columns. Now the Google ORV I just showed you, whether it's got the organic rank value, and down here the local aggregate value. This is Larry, right? So let me just take off my filter here for a second, so that you can see all of the keywords with the Larry beside it. I'm really giving it a lot to think about while we're on a webinar. Come on, baby, you can do it. All right. So the cool thing about the columns when you add a column is that you can sort by the column. So we had a column here before, it was sorted by that, so it just picked up that sort. But you can see here we have, what is it, apartment rentals? So up here at the top, the most thematically relevant keywords to apartment rentals is obviously rental apartment, apartment rentals itself, apartment rental, rentals apartment, the same thing in Spanish, all different kinds of varieties of saying apartment rentals, apartment finding, apartment search, and then when we go to the other end of the scale, these things that are least relevant, we've got a university, which I'm assuming was going to have some kind of apartment rental associated with the university, which is why it shows up at all, right? Paris, Sacramento, Austin, Barcelona, probably other places that rent apartments. Like these are just like Grand Canal, like they're really reaching for any kind of relevance at all, right? So when you get down here in the particularly under 10 to under 20 category, they're very, very tangent concepts. So the cool thing about it is that I can come up here and I can decide what I want my cutoff point to be in terms of what's relevant and what's not, and it just kind of gives me a diminishing or from least tangent to most tangent kind of a concept, and I can just start at the top and work my way down until I go, you know, these just aren't relevant enough anymore for me to want to consider. So those are our quick and dirty shortcuts to some of the most important filters and columns so that you guys can use the tool quicker and have fun.
Okay, awesome. Let's just see what we have with questions. Now, we've been on for way past the time that
I'm sorry.
We have a lot of, no, it's good, Sue. I really, I think people need to, you know, expose this. So let me tell you what's going to happen, because we've got a lot going on, and I want to keep Sue's energy up today so that we can get all these things done. So here's what's going to happen. We have, leading up to November 15th at our live event in Nashville, which is here, I'm in Nashville at the moment at my family estate, like I've told you, we have SEO Live event that's going to be happening here. It's OMG Live. And we are speaking on the entire of day 2. This is in the, what's that, Sue?
Sunday.
No, yeah, sorry, yes. The schedule is changing around so much that I'm trying to keep up with it. But yeah, we're speaking on day 2. And so we also are going to be hanging with another associate of ours who is going to be revealing some really killer things. It's going to be an amazing event. It will not be recorded, and it's all behind closed doors, and it's kind of here with my elite team, some of my friends here in Nashville. So I wanted you all to be aware that Sue and I don't get out much. We're too busy building machinery and weapons for your convenience and market domination. So if you're interested in coming, I wanted to make sure that you all knew that it was happening. So I'm going to drop the link here publicly so that you are aware. Now what we're going to do is we are going to have a live event, and I don't even have the go-to meeting. Do we have the go-to meeting for the Saturday event?
No, not yet.
Okay, guess I could have dropped that here. I didn't think about it. But I'm going to go ahead and email everybody that link. This is going to be private as well on Saturday. I'm going to be preparing everybody for the semantic changes that Kevin and Sue and I were up really late last night, and Sue and Kevin have been working on for weeks and ultimately years. So the Saturday event is going to be a big deal because it's really putting a stake in the ground for the next 5 years of our company. As you guys know, we do evergreen stuff. We were talking about silo architecture with Bruce Clay in 2005, 6, and 7, and it's lasted for 10 years, and now people are just starting to get it. It's become highly popular and because it works, and it's evergreen. The next thing is semantic architecture, which is equally evergreen, in fact more so, and changes absolutely every single thing that every spammer ever hoped was true about the web. I mean, it literally is a gigantic trap that's being set for every spammer on earth. So we need to let you guys know what that's about, and it's going to be private. We're not going to publicize the stuff that we discovered. I'm going to thank Kevin, who is like our overqualified help desk person, and we all run our help desk. I don't even consider help desk anything other than a way for us to serve and communicate with all of you.
Absolutely.
So it requires a very highly educated and technical person to even involve themselves with our help desk. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the link to the live event just so that you guys know that you have access to hang out with us, because that's only possible either through a 20,000, actually Sue raised our prices to our certification event to 20K last month, or this event, which is much less, it's I think under 3K, to be able to hang out with us for a full 3 days. Okay, so that's, yeah, Tyson corrected me on the price. It's 2K, but I throw that extra grand in there, Tyson, because people need to get hotels and, you know, all that other stuff, flights and stuff like that. So I give a high price point there. But I'm going to go ahead and drop this in the chat area.
What's the link?
I'm sorry.
What's the link? Give me the link.
I'm going.
Stop the sales pitch. Just give us the link, man.
Okay. Does that mean I don't have to sell anymore? Okay, I like it. All right, no need to sell. Jazz is telling me to shut up and stop selling. Here is the, so it's in networkempirenews.com/live. And if you want to join the mailing list instead of go directly to the purchase link, it's networkempirenews.com/Nashville live. Okay, if you want to be in the mailing list for regular updates.
Ooh, purple.
Yeah, I would rather. Okay, so also you can opt into Nashville Live too. All right, so yeah, you can sign up at this event. Again, this is OMG, not our company. They have their own design parameters and the rest. It's all part of their brand. It's fine. But the event, I got to tell you, is going to be absolutely crazy. The people that are going to be showing up at this event and the things that we're going to be revealing, it costs 15 to 20K at our live events for us to go through our socially activated, semantically integrated one WebRing traffic system. It takes 6 days for us to even begin to talk about it. We are going to be getting into it in a full day. And so you can bring your questions, you can bring your questions, bring your insights.
We won't have time for questions.
We will, actually. We're going to be there's going to be a couple of suites that Mike and Dave and I are putting together for the event, which are outside of the event, so you can come up and have a beer or a Perrier and talk about whatever it is that's on your mind. We're going to have whiteboards rolled. We're going to have whiteboards rolled into the room so that we can do crazy stuff that will be deleted and not recorded. And we will scan the security detail at the door will scan you for recording devices. No, just kidding.
So what you're saying is it's what happens in Nashville stays in Nashville.
It really does. It really does. It's not. We're not going to be able to. You're going to find out a lot about it at a certification event. And again, Network Empire students and private members area, you get more of this information than most. But there are certain things that we do not provide, in the membership area because of the delicacy of it. And introducing you to, if you can't make it to the Nashville event, that's fine. Be sure to be a part of the Network Empire membership at networkempire.com. Now, keep in mind that if you're on a tight budget, because we have a lot of people on this call at varying levels of, financial capacity, the cheapest package that we have is networkempire.basic.com. You don't get access to the ton of the software like TLKT, but I think you do get a DWS any silo builder one site software access at networkempire.basic.com. So I think it's something like $49 a month or whatever. You're still going to be able to have access to the webinar that we have on Saturday. If you do not have access to the Network Empire private members area, when my email goes out this afternoon for the semantic, what we call Humzilla, it's basically Hummingbird times 1,000, what's happening over the next 3 years. Kevin and Sue are going to be exposing where you need to position yourself with content and web ethics and the semantic integration that Google has politically bought into now, which is why microformatting is going bye-bye. And just when you thought you had a handle on everything, but there's a political reason for that, and we're going to talk to you about what it is and why. And you have to be a member to get in. I got to tell you, Saturday's event is worth the entire price of the basic package. So if you're not a member, go to Network Empire Basic. You're supposed to be only members in this call, but I see some non-members have snuck in. I'm sure the link got shared. That's fine. But do join because I'm going to make absolutely sure that it's members only on that call. Are there any final questions before you are, Jazz? Yes, but there are non-members here because, Jazz, you probably shared your link. Are there any? I know. Are there any other questions before we go? We're going to wrap this up. Will the Saturday webinar be recorded? Yes, Bradley.
Yes.
For members only. Yes,
yes,
and it will be. And Bradley, you can ping us on Skype as well. Theme Zoom is the Skype address. You can join. All of you on this call should join our Skype basic group. There's a lot of buzz and stuff that happens in there, but also people who are in the group have much easier access to us on Skype. Another thing I would like to address is that there is a high-end technical training launching the 15th of this month. Soon you'll be able to read the new sales page at swallowyourmarketwhole.com. Again, that's going to be swallowyourmarketwhole.com, where Matt, Sue, and I will lead you by the hand. It's much less expensive than our certification event. Again, the sales page and what you get is not completed. I'm working madly. Sue's got me making like 14 different copies right now of different things, so I'm kind of behind.
20.
Yeah, and that's basically where Matt, Sue, and myself lead you through an 8-week training course on how to build your own empire, essentially. It's focused on the primary site, like the sites that we discussed today with Boyd and Jim and everything else. We lead you through a highly intensified technical process, but we also lead you through the neural marketing and the proper call to action and the persuasion architecture as well. Okay, so this is going to be...
This is still the old copy. We've got more than 10, more than 2 seats open. So
it's a group
don't
coaching.
Panic.
It's like what Mike calls one-half coaching. It's similar. So over the course of 8 weeks, we're not going to drag you across the finish line, but you will meet with us every Tuesday and guide you through the process. If you're interested in that, please just email me directly at russell@themezoom.com or wait for the marketing blast that goes out to the list here in the next 5 or 6 days. This course is somewhere in the ballpark of $2,000 or something like that.
Yeah, this is $2,000.
Yeah. If you want one-on-one attention, there's a $3,000 package where we literally work with you. We hold your hand on that one-half coaching process. And when you're done, you have your full integrated processing marketing. I mean, it's crazy stuff. Okay. So that is the package that we have that's less than our 20K certification event in the spring, which is 10 people at 20K a pop. So that gives you an idea of the different kind of levels of packages that we have. And then, of course, the live event in Nashville being 3K is the best bet you have to kind of hang out with us in person. So really excited to see all you guys there. And if not, really excited to see you on the event on Saturday. And I hope to see you there. Okay, this is Russell Wright and Sue Bell from Network Empire. We hope to see you and help you and guide you through the semantic revolution.
Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate your time.